What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Noob. I'm coming at you again from the desk instead of the new area that I was recording from because it is time to talk about the anime that's coming out in the new season. Can you believe it? We have gotten through winter 2020, spring 2020, and now we are moving on to summer 2020, and there is a lot to watch. Or at least there was, until the virus made everything get pushed back. You know what? I'm not even going to call it the virus. I'm going to call it what it is. COVID. Sorry, YouTube. I don't get monetized by you, so you can't demonetize me. Ha 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 ha. Lucky for me, there is still quite a few animes that I'm going to be watching during the summer of 2020, and I figure it's time that I just shared it with you. The first one is one that got pushed back from spring 2020, and luckily seems to be coming out on July 10th. It is the third season to my teen romantic comedy Snafu. This is the climax, from what they say, of the Snafu franchise. If you do not know my teen romantic comedy Snafu, let me read you the synopsis that is shared on the page. My teen romantic comedy Snafu returns with the series' long-awaited conclusion and resolution to the nail-biting cliffhanger ending of Season 2. But the messy emotions of Hachiman, Yukino, and Yui won't be easily expressed, and as the members of the service club band together to host a school prom, they will have to put their feelings into words and truly learn to understand each other at long last. If the service club can even stay afloat, that is. See, it has been many years since the end of Season 2, and a lot of people, including myself, have been waiting for this. We were happy when it was going to come out during spring, but then we were all devastated when it got pushed back to summer. Luckily, as of the recording of this right now, 24 days, this will be out, and I cannot wait. I even started reading the light novels on this because I love this story. It is hilarious to watch. The interactions between all the characters feels genuine, and I just can't wait to see how this ends. The next one is a returning from last year. It is Fire Force Season 2. Now, I gotta tell you, the animation in this anime was good. I liked it. I loved the comedy in this. Your characters felt so real. I actually held back on this because I wasn't really sure, but once I started watching it, bam, I really just kept going and going and going, and I just had to watch it all. I binge watched it, and luckily I finished it just before this came out. So let me read you a synopsis of what Fire Force is. This is the second season to Fire Force. Terror has paralyzed the clockwork metropolis of Tokyo. Possessed by demons, people have begun to burst into flames, leading to the establishment of the special firefighting team known as the Fire Force. See, in this anime, your main character is Shinra, and he is a boy who has been a very special possession of unique powers. He can ignite his feet with fire and basically shoot off like a rocket. He joins the Fire Force because he's trying to figure out what happened to his mother, which demon killed them, and how he's going to get back at them. I loved the first season, the twist that came at the end about his brother, his mother, his whole family, and it's going to go on from there. Now, I don't know if the second season is going to be the last one, but I want to see how this is going to play out because like I said, the animation was good. The comedy is great. Shinra is a great protagonist. I actually like him a lot. I liked all the characters. The only one I really didn't like was the priestess. I found her useless in this whole anime, but other than that, I have enjoyed all the characters. Now, the next returning one is more of an OVA, maybe can be classified as a movie. It is Goblin Slayer, Goblins Crown. This is a continuation of the Goblin Slayer story. I believe the mangas have just started catching up to this. I believe the light novels have already gotten there. I have not read the light novel yet. It's actually sitting right over there, so I will actually come into this new unless I get to it. But Goblin Slayer has got to be one of my favorite animes in the last few years, so let me read that synopsis for you. In the ice-covered mountains, dreams, hopes, and even horror and pride are frozen. The man has come to save a certain adventurer who has disappeared. That man is known as Goblin Slayer. That's right, folks. Goblin Slayer and his Misfit ragtag team is basically there. Now, I call them Misfits because these were people who he normally wouldn't have teamed up but have become his partners. You've got Goblin Slayer, Priestess, High Elf Archer, Dwarf Shaman, and Lizard Priest. And then, of course, there's the side characters that we all know and love. Guild Girl, Cowgirl. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Lancer and Witch. And who else? I'm not sure. But the new adventurer, from if I remember her title correctly, it is a Noble Fencer or Royal Fencer. I can't remember what title it is. But from the short amount that I have read in the manga, she starts taking a path that kind of reminds me of Goblin Slayer in his path on becoming what he became. Now, the rest of these that I want to watch are all brand new titles into anime. They are not continuations or second seasons or anything else. So these are all new titles. The first one we are starting with is The Misfit of Demon King Academy. This is a manga that I've actually been reading for a while since it first came out. I've enjoyed it. I want to see it because it's one of a very unique story. It's not an isekai, it's a reincarnation story, so I think a lot of people will enjoy it. Anoth, the Demon King of Tyranny, has defeated humans, spirits, and gods alike. But even Demon Kings get tired of all the fighting sometimes. Hoping for a more peaceful life, Anoth decides to reincarnate himself. When he awakes 2,000 years later, he finds the world has become too peaceful. His descendants have grown weak and magic is in a serious decline. Intending to reclaim his rightful place, he enrolls in Demon King Academy, where he finds that his magical powers is off the charts. And because they can't measure his powers, the faculty and other students regard Anoth as a misfit. With the support of Misha, the one student he manages to befriend, the misfit begins to climb up the demon ranks. I have enjoyed this manga because it's just as it says. He reincarnates and magic has gone to shit basically, and all the candidates in the school, they believe that once you graduate from the school you become the next demon king, but they're all like trashy nobles. They think too highly of themselves. They're just not a good fit. He really doesn't like it, and some of the staff is monsters and demons he worked with, but somehow they can't remember him. I love how he breaks all these high and mighty nobles. It's my favorite kind of fantasy story where you just knock a noble in his place. So I kind of want to see how this is going to go. I know I've loved the manga, and I hope they do well on this. The next one is another manga that I've been reading, and one that I recently found out has definitely a connection to the Monster Matsumi world. The title of this anime is called Monster Girl Doctor. Now, the connection between these two is actually one of the lead artists that worked on Monster Matsumi is also working on this. So there are some people who thought this was kind of a ripoff, but after I read some of the information on it, it seems that the people who created this were people who also worked on Monster Matsumi. So I'm pretty sure that the guy who created Monster Matsumi has given his blessing on this, and I really hope so because I've been reading the manga. I love it. It's more interactive than the Monster Matsumi. The main character in Monster Matsumi was kind of just an insert, so all us males could imagine ourselves in there, where this protagonist actually has a point and a purpose, and let's face it, an actually detailed face. So let's get to that synopsis. In the town of Lindworm, where monsters and humans exist, Dr. Glenn runs an exemplary medical clinic for monster girls with his Limia assistant, Safi. Whether receiving a marriage proposal by a centaur injured in battle, palpitating the injury of a mermaid, or suturing the delicate wounds of a flesh golem, Dr. Glenn performs his job with grace and confidence. But when an unsavory character seeks to steal a harpy egg, how will the unflappable Dr. Glenn respond? Like I said, I have been enjoying this manga, and I just recently found it's got a light novel, so I am definitely going to be buying that. Because, like I said, I loved Monster Musume. I loved all the characters in that, but they were just a little too ecchi. I'm going to have to say that ecchi. There was always boobs popping out in this. In Monster Girls Doctor, it actually felt like a fantasy story. Yes, there's a lot of similarities. The snake girl, the horse girl, the flesh golem was basically Zombie-chan, a harpy. But each of these characters are unique in their own way, and there's not a lot of ecchi. There's, little scenes here and there, but not as much as Monster Musume. So I loved Monster Musume, but always wanted more of a story. This definitely satisfied that taste. So if you were a fan of the Monster Musume anime, you will definitely enjoy this one. Now, speaking of that etchiness, this one definitely covers the cake. The title of this anime is called Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time. Where do I begin? Because I've been reading this manga because I'm a degenerate and I love ecchi mangas. This, I never thought would be made into an anime because of how much sexual tension is in this story. But after the, well, let's face it, I'm not going to say the name of it, but you know which review anime that we all saw last year that almost broke the internet. More and more of these ecchi stories are coming out. Let's get to the synopsis of this one. The story centers around the titular protagonist, the adventurer Peter Grill, the strongest man in the world. While he has a girlfriend named Livia, who he has sworn to spend the rest of his life with, Livia still believes that babies are delivered by storks. And in the 2 years that they have been together, their relationship has not progressed far. They have only gotten to the point of hand-holding. In the meantime, various other women, such as 2 orc twins and an elf, all want him so they can bear strong children. Peter has to avoid all manners of temptations and plots while feeling guilty towards Livia. I love this manga because of how retarded some of the situations are when it comes to him getting stuck with this. And before you're thinking, oh, it's ecchi, nothing happens. No, literally, this guy sleeps with like, I don't know, my last count I think was like 5 or 6 people. In the first chapter of the manga, the first 1 or 2 chapters, he eventually ends up sleeping with the 2 orc twins. They are twins, but they're not lookalikes. Like, one is shorter and one is taller, and they are very nice looking. And it's because they will not leave him alone, and they basically seduce him into bed. I'm not sure if it's rape, but it kind of feels like it. The next one that comes along is an elf, and she literally magic Viagra's his dick to where it won't go down, and the only way he can get it to stop being hard before, he can't get it up no more is he has to do her. Later on, there's an orc princess who looks more human, and the orc father and Livia's father drug Peter or drug her. Basically, there's drugs, and they eventually end up having sex. There are all these characters, and in the end, he does sleep with each of them, and he still feels stupidly guilty because he loves his girl, and he's trying to keep it a secret from her, and it's just hilarious comedy. This is going to be one of those where if you like ecchi comedies, you're going to enjoy it. But if you're one of those who kind of are hit or miss on this will probably go under your radar, so take it with a grain of salt. The next one is in the last of my definitely watch ones, and the title character was one that kind of made the news because her image was used for blood donations, but for some reason people took it wrong because she's a busty character, and some groups apparently found that wrong, and they were thinking they were using her for sexual stuff when it wasn't. But it's not really that. The title of this manga is Yusaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. This is a very adorable manga that I've been reading since the beginning. If you are a fan of the mangas Please Don't Tease Me, Nagatori, or any of those other mangas where the female character tends to tease the male character, you will enjoy this if you have not watched it. Sonichi's one wish is for a little peace and quiet. But Hana, his well-endowed upperclassman, has other plans. All she wants to do is hang out and poke fun at him. With the help of her chipper charm and her persistence, this might just be the start of a beautiful relationship. This eventually turns into a relationship. Like, it only just recently got to the point where they're starting to admit that they like each other, but it's the whole, friends from school, they hang out, she loves to tease him, he just wants to have a normal life. They sometimes work together, and I like it because it's a good comedy slice of life with a little bit of romance in there, and her teasing is quite enjoyable. And the best part is, yes, they're still in school, but they're in college. So for all those who are going, oh my god, slice of life, high school, nope. They're in college. They're technically adults. In fact, I think she's old enough to drink. So, hey, there you go. Alright, so we've got 3 animes that are on my consideration list because either it sounded interesting or I know I've read it, but maybe I didn't like the manga or something. The first one is called Rent a Girlfriend. Now, I found this manga way back in the day, but it really didn't catch my eye. The concept just was kind of weird to me. But I did find out later on that there is apparently in Japan a rental service where you can rent a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a mom, a dad, whatever you need for whatever situation. So I'm a little more interested to find out how this is. Kazuya is a 20-year-old failure of a college student. He manages to kiss his girlfriend once, but was dumped after a month. After deciding that he never wants to go through that again, he uses a certain method to date a girl. He goes to their meeting place and suddenly hears, "You're Kazuya-kun, right?" A beautiful girl, brushing her long black hair behind her ear, was there smiling at him. Her name is Chizuru. Something real is born after just a single rental. A reckless rom-com filled with the love and excitement is about to begin. Now, from what I remember from the manga that I did read, she apparently is happy-go-lucky when she's on the job, but when she's off the job, she's kind of rude and mean. And apparently, it goes further because I guess their grandmas are in the same home or hospital, and apparently she lives in the same apartment building that he does, so there's a lot of connections between these two. Like I said, the manga really didn't catch my eye, but now that I know that there's a service like this, I really am interested to see how this plays out. The next one I am going to watch because it's just stupid ecchi. So that's the whole purpose. It's my degenerate side. I'm going to see if it's worth it. But who knows? The title of this one is called Super HXeros. I think it's supposed to be like heroes, but with an X in there. Once I read the synopsis, hopefully you'll understand. In a world on the verge of a great disaster that began 5 years ago, heroes who, with the help of a device called HXeros, use the power of ecchi and erotic power to save the planet from libido-devouring monsters. Rito and Kiria are childhood friends who have drifted apart from each other. One day, they are caught in a battle against the censor bug that feeds on human sexual energy to evolve. After successfully taking down one enemy, they join a group of heroes like them, using the erotic powers of the HXeros force to fight off monsters. Basically, in a nutshell, the power of the boner will save them. That's what I got from this. This is basically going to be a superhero story where the power of ecchi will save them. That alone is dumb enough to make me pay attention and see how this is going to be. It's probably not going to be that good. I'm probably not going to enjoy it, but then again, I have watched other animes that have had the power of ecchi and thought they were hilarious. So I'm going to give this a shot and see how it is. Alright, the next one is one because the synopsis and the animation caught my eye. It's that weird, unique animation that makes me have to go, So I'm not 100% sure on this one. I'm going to give, the 3 anime episode attempt. And if I like it, I'll continue. If I don't, I won't. So the title of this anime is called Gibiate. Gibiate. I hope that's the pronunciation of it. Let me read the synopsis for you. In 2030 Japan, right around the corner, a virus has infected humans throughout the world. Okay, seriously, are they trying to tell us something? Infected people turn into different forms of monsters based on their age, sex, and race. The virus is named Gibi, after being rich in variety like Gibi. Just then, a pair of samurai and ninja appear in such a blighted wasteland of Japan. They've both traveled from the early Edo period, fighting together with help from a doctor who tries to find a cure for Jibe. Facing ceaseless attacks from Jibes and outlaws that attack travelers for food, they start the dangerous journey with enemies all around. So basically, a virus is spread over the world. Sounds familiar. People are turning into monsters, and you've got a samurai and a ninja showing up from the way back when and fighting these monsters. That is unique enough to make me go, okay, I'll give it a shot. It sounds completely weird, and like I said, the animation from the trailer that I saw last year was unique enough to where it stayed in my brain. So I will give this a shot. I can't guarantee I'll like it. Something about the samurai's face kind of bothers me. I don't know if it's just the makeup or if they're trying to go with the vampiric tint of skin, but could be good, could be bad. I don't know. It could be very unique and something very original, or it could be a cannon fodder that they just threw together trying to make money. But who knows? Now, I do want to make one special shout out to a anime that is coming out that isn't on my list, but I think it deserves praise. Last season, or the current season right now, we had a manhwa just sweep the field and knock everyone off their feet. It was the Tower of God. I have not watched it. I'm actually waiting for it to finish, and then I'm going to binge watch it. I know of the manhwa, but I've never read it. This season, we're getting another manhwa, which I know is very popular on the Webtoons app. I've never read it. I've never been interested in reading or watching it, but I figure that since manhwas are getting big and a lot of people apparently like Tower of God, I think a lot of people are going to pay attention to this one. Keep your eye out for The God of High School. Apparently, it's high school, martial arts, tournaments, fighting. I don't know much about it, but I really wasn't interested. But if the Tower of God did so good, I have a feeling this one is going to do just as well. Well, folks, thank you for joining me on this bit of a long episode. These are my 10 animes that I'm going to be watching during the summer 2020. Hopefully, nothing else gets pushed back. Or let it all get pushed back to the fall and make me have an aneurysm trying to keep up with it. It doesn't matter. Thanks to COVID, a lot of people are having to sit in, read, watch, catch up on all their anime and manga. So these are just my 10 that I'm going to watch. I hope they work for you. If you're stuck at home still, give these 10 a shot. Hell, go check out some of the mangas to some of them that you might enjoy. But anyways, folks, thank you for listening. I'm the Noob. I will catch y'all next time. See ya.